welcome back to my channel Tech Universe with Asma. Today I am back with another mini project where we will learn how to automatically start and stop EC2 instances. This is very helpful when the EC2 instance needs not to be kept running all the time. Only for a particular amount of time the instance need to run. Here we will focus on working hours of a company, that is at the 9 a.m. the EC2 instance should be up and running and by 6 p.m. it should stop on all the weekdays. Implementing this approach helps to reduce cost and improve resource efficiency. The major steps which we will need to complete this project would be: we will create an IAM role to start and stop the EC2 instances. We will write two Lambda functions. One function is to start the EC2 instance and another Lambda function would be to stop the EC2 instance. Then we will use EventBridge, another service which is a serverless service, and we will create a rule. It will trigger a cron job that will basically start the Lambda function, and Lambda function in turn it will start the EC2 instance. Now let's understand what is AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service which is provided by AWS. AWS Lambda helps you to run your code without provisioning or managing servers. You just write your function, upload it, and Lambda takes care of everything else. That is the scaling, the patching, and the managing of infrastructure. Now let's understand what is serverless computing. Serverless computing allows you to build and run applications and services without thinking about servers. You don't need to worry about servers, the implementation of the project on any of the servers. With serverless computing, your application still runs on servers, but all the server management is done by the cloud, that is AWS. At the core of serverless computing is AWS Lambda. Here it lets you allow to run the code without provisioning or managing servers. Now the key features of AWS Lambda is event driven. Here Lambda runs your code in response to the events like HTTP request, file uploads, DB updates, etc. Now the Lambda is pay per use. That is, you are charged only for the compute time you use and there is no idle cost. Automatic scaling. It handles one request or 1 million requests without any manual configuration. You don't need to configure any of the thing in terms of automatic scaling. Then the built-in security comes with Lambda. It works with IAM, VPC, key management services, and integrate with AWS security best practices. The Lambda feature is easy integration. It easily integrates with other AWS services such as S3, DynamoDB, RDS, API Gateway, EventBridge, Step Functions, and many more other services. It supports multiple languages such as Python, Node.js, Java, Go, C#, Ruby, and few of the custom runtimes. Now versioning and aliases. You can manage different version of your Lambda functions easily. Then comes the lastly monitoring and logging. Here it works seamlessly with CloudWatch for logging and performance monitoring. Following are the steps we need to complete this project. We will create IAM policy and then we will attach those policy to IAM roles. We will see creation of Amazon EC2 instance. We will create two Lambda functions. One is to stop the EC2 instance and one is to start the EC2 instance. And then we will create a rule in EventBridge which is used for scheduling cron triggers. Now let's understand what is Amazon EventBridge. Amazon EventBridge is a serverless event bus service by AWS that lets you connect different applications using events. It acts like a central hub where different services can send and receive messages without needing to know about each other. And this is called event-driven architecture. Here we will use event-driven, in the EventBridge we will use event rule. A rule is basically a key component that matches incoming events and routes them to the target services for processing. Here the target service would be the lambda function. The lambda function then in turn starts or stop the EC2 instance. So let's go to the console and start implementing this project. So we are into the console. We will first go to IAM because we need to create the policy and then we need to create the role. We will attach those policies to the role. Here on the left hand side we will click on policies and we will click on create policy. Now here we need to specify the permission. Now we will select a service. Here we will use EC2. Now the actions allowed. Now it's taking some time to load. So here we will say this. We will type here describe. Yes. So here it will tell a lot of things which says describe account attribute. But here we will select describe instances. So it must be here. Describe images, instance type. Yeah, this is the one we need to select, describe instances, and then we will select start. See here, this is under the right, we have to select start instances. So we have given two permissions. One is to describe instance and then it is the start instance. Then we will click on next. Now here we will say start EC2 policy. We will give this policy name is start EC2 policy, and here the EC2 and everything is right and list. Those two permissions have been selected, and now we will create a policy. It will come here. Now we will go and again create another policy. Here again we will select EC2. And then here we will select, again we will give the permission as describe instances. This is the one, describe instances, and the another one we will choose as stop instances. We'll click on next and we'll give the policy name as stop EC2 policy. And then we will click on create policy. So here it got created successfully. Now I will go to the EC2 dashboard and see if I have any EC2 instance already present in my EC2 console or not. I will click on dashboard and the instance is running. So see, I have a demo EC2 instance which I have created some time back. So we will use this EC2 instance for our project. We will not create a new one. If you want to see the video of creating an EC2 instance, I will attach in the description box of this video, and you can go and you can take the help and you can create the instance. Now let's open AWS Lambda. And now we will go and click on create function. Now we will say start EC2 function, the name we have given. Here we will use Python 3.3. Architecture we will keep as it is, and here change default execution role. Here it's saying create a new role with basic lambda permission. So here it will create a new role for this function, and then later on what we will do, we will attach the policy which we have created to this function once this function gets created. So we will click on create function. Now this is what we will see when our function start EC2 function gets created. If you will click on code, because we have selected Python, we will see the lambda function.py. This is the basic function which we have got once the function lambda functions got created. So we will put the code for starting the EC2 instance. So I have the code with me. I will remove this code and I will paste my code here. So here basically we will use Python Boto 3. So Boto 3 is a library which we install with the help of pip install Boto 3, but here Lambda function will take care of installing and everything. So Boto 3 is an Amazon Web Service software development kit for Python. Here it allows Python developers to write software that make use of services like Amazon S3 and Amazon EC2. So you can find the latest and most updated document here. So Python 3 is basically used when we want to interact with AWS services from the Python code. So this is the Boto 3 library. We will import the OS library also and logging also. Here we will just do the logging for the instead of print statement we are using the logger function. Here in the main function basically we are defining our region. So here the function the region here it shows as AP South 1, but I am in the North Virginia region, so I will choose US East 1. Then here it's saying instance ID. So here the instance ID we need to provide. This is the instance which we will be using, the demo instance which was there present in our EC2 dashboard. So here we need to give the instance ID, but here we are not directly hard coding the value. What we will do, we will put this instance ID in our environment variable. So we will do in a bit. So now here it's saying if not instance ID, so it will log the error as status 400, and here it will say missing EC2 instance ID. Then it will create an EC2 client, EC2 equals to boto3.client in the region which we have given already. Then it will start the EC2 instance. Here EC2.start instance, these are the functions which we have got, and here the instance ID is provided, and the logger info will get started EC2 instance, and we will get the status code. If EC2 instance is successfully started, we will get the status code as 200, and if it's not started or some error comes, it will get the 400 error. And if the exception occurs due to some reasons, if we have not if the function is unable to start the EC2 instance, it will give the 500 error, that is error starting EC2 instance. So this is the function which we have created. I will attach the code for this function in the video description, so you can go and download from there. So now this is the code we have replaced, and now we need to, the next step would be to deploy the code. So we will click on deploy. So here it is updating. Now the code is deployed. Now the next step would be we need to go to configuration, as we need to provide the EC2 instance ID. So we will go to configuration, that is the 4th tab from here, and we'll click on so it's already there on environment variable. So this is the earlier one I have used. Now I have removed that. Now I'll click on add environment variable. For the key I will give okay, I have selected by default the whole thing. So what I'll do is just the key I will give as EC2 instance ID, and the value we will get of this instance ID from our instance. So under the EC2 and instances, this is the one which we have got. So we will select this and we will paste it here, and we will click on save. So my instance I have tested, it was running, so I'll click on stop. Yes, so under configuration we have given the environment variable EC2 instance ID. So from here the from this environment variable our code will pick the instance ID. So we have not hard coded. Now the next step would be to test. See, we will go and click on create a new event. We will give start instance 1 I will say, and I'll not change this, and I will just save, and now I'll click on test. Now let's see if what if our execution gets started or not, so it gets failed. So what it is saying, it's saying sandbox timed out. Now what it is saying, found credentials in environment variables, but it is unable to do. So one thing we have missed is, so in order to start the instance from the Lambda function, we basically need a permission. So when we have created the Lambda function, a default role has been created. Like previously I have said, we need to attach the policy. The policy will help the Lambda function to start the EC2 instance. So here the execution role, it has got created by default when we have created the Lambda function. Now if we open this role, this is the role for our Lambda function. Now what we need to do is, we need to add permission. Under add permission, we need to attach policy. The policy which we have created in the very first step, and we have given the name as start EC2 policy. See, when we search here, we have got our policy, and this policy has got the permission. The first one is to describe the instance, and the second one would be to start the instance. Now we'll click on add permissions. Now our role, the default execution role has got the permission. Now if there are any changes, US East 1, EC2 instance ID, everything, we'll see if there are any changes. We will deploy the code. So it's saying no changes to deploy. Now let's see if we'll go and test it. Yes, now we will click on test and let's see. Now again it has failed. It is again saying sandbox timed out. It's saying found credentials in environment variable, but it does not help. So what I can do is, I can delete this and I will create create a new event for the test. Start EC2, I'll say. So once I have clicked on the test, it basically, the status code has come. It gave me the status code as 200. Now the instance ID, it has fetched from the configuration under the environment variables, and see here it is saying under the details, EC2, this instance ID is starting, and now it is saying it is running. So let's see if our Lambda function, when we have provided the correct permission to start the EC2 instance, it has worked or not. We will go to the instances and we will click on refresh and see. Now say this is running, but we have not manually came here and started the server. We have started the server with the help of this Lambda function. Here it is giving execution function succeeded. Now here we will get the more details. This is the request ID we have got. Now it is saying found credentials in environment variables, and this is started EC2 instance we have got. This is the logger info we have got, and now the EC2 instance is running. So it means our Lambda function of starting the EC2 instance is working correctly. Now our first Lambda function, which we will use for starting the EC2 instance, is successfully created, and our EC2 instance is also running correctly. Now we will click on create function. Now what we will do, we will create another Lambda function which we will name as stop EC2 function, and here we will write the code for stopping our EC2 instance. We will select the Python 3.13 version, architecture as it is. Again change default execution role. Here again it will create a new role for this Lambda function for stopping, and similarly like the first role which got created with the first start function, we need to attach the policy. Here we will attach the policy which we have created for stopping the instance. So we will do in a bit. Click on create function. Now I again have the stop EC2 function, the lambda code with me. This is for the start and this is for the stopping the EC2. It is same as the starting the EC2 instance. I will provide the link for this also in the description of my video, so that you can directly copy this and start implementing this project. So under the code, this is the default code which we have got. We will remove this and I will paste my the code which I have got. So here I will change as US, as I am in the region US East 1. Now again similarly we need to provide the instance ID under the environment variable. So I will select this and I will go to configurations. Under environment variables, I'll click on add environment variable, the instance ID, the key we have given, and this is the instance ID. This is the value we will give. So this function will work on this instance ID and it will help to stop this function, as this is the stop EC2 function. I will click on save. Now code, we have not deployed our code right now. So now US East 1, I will click on save and deploy. So deploy will by default save this. Now successfully updated the stop EC2 function. Now after deploying, we need to go and test the function. So we'll create a new test event and we will give the name as stop EC2, and we'll keep the remaining things as it is and we will save it. And now we will test this. I believe we will get the error because we have not given the permission for this lambda function. So it's saying again this thing. We will go to configuration and now permission. We will choose this stop EC2 function. Role has been created. This is the execution, default execution role. It will open in IAM, and for this role I will add permission and then attach policies. Now here the policy which I will attach would be stop EC2 policy, which we have created. The stop EC2 policy have got the permission to describe the instance and stop instances. So I'll click on add permission. So now the lambda basic execution role and along with this stop EC2. So our lambda function will go to EC2 instance and it will stop it because we have given the permission. Now again we will go to test and we will save this and again we will test it. Now let's see if it's working or not. See, now it's saying execution function succeeded. Now what it is saying, instance, the instance ID is stopping. So our lambda function has successfully stopped the EC2 instance. We will go to EC2 and see what is the status of our EC2 instance. See, now it is saying as stopping. This we have not manually did it, but our lambda function has done it. So the initial step of creating a start EC2 function and the stopping EC2 function has been deployed correctly. Now our another task would be to create an EventBridge rule. So our lambda functions are successfully created. Now we will go to EventBridge, Amazon EventBridge, and here we will go to, under the buses we will go to rules. We will create a rule to trigger our lambda function. Now we will give the rule name as start EC2 and here we will select schedule, a rule that runs on a schedule. Now what we will go to EventBridge scheduler. Here the schedule group we will keep it as default. Now it is the one-time schedule or the recurring schedule. So we need to do the recurring schedule and the time zone would be Asia Now this is a cron-based schedule. Cron-based schedule would be a schedule set during a cron expression. Now we need to find out the cron expression. So we will select the minutes as 0. Then the second tab, what we need to do is we need to start at the 9 a.m. Day of the month we don't know, so we'll put the question mark. The month we can say as 0. Day of the week we can say 1 to 5, so first 5 days, and the year also we can give 2025, or we can give as asterisk, 0. Now it's again saying cron expression. For the month we can give Jan to December. Still it's saying cron expression. See if we can give 2025. Yeah, now it is accepting. So at the 9 hours and the day of the month, whatever would be the next, every month from Jan to December and 1st to 5, so that is Monday to Friday, the job will start at 9 a.m. at UTC plus 5:30, that is the Asia timings. So the flexible time window we will select as off. Now the time frame, this we will leave, and then we will click on target. Now here we need to choose now what we are doing is from the Amazon EventBridge rule, we have to trigger the Lambda function. Now here it will say invoke Lambda function. So which Lambda function? This is for starting at 9 a.m. So we will invoke the start EC2 function, and we will click on next, and then action after schedule completion we will select none we need to do. So we will leave as it is, and then again here it is creating an EventBridge rule. So now EventBridge is will be able to access the Lambda function, and then Lambda function will start. So again we need to give a new role for EventBridge, so it will create automatically. We will click on next, and then we will create a schedule. So now the last part for creating an EventBridge rule, that will trigger the Lambda function, and Lambda function in turn will trigger the EC2 instance. Now we have to create another rule that will basically go and stop the EC2 instance with the help of a Lambda function. So we will again go to rules, and then we will click on create rule. We will give the rule name as stop EC2 EventBridge. For this we need to again on the schedule we need to select and continue in EventBridge scheduler. Now it should be the recurring schedule. Again it is a cron based, so we will select 00. Now we will select 6, so 6 p.m. we will select for the 6 p.m. then we need to say as 18, then day of the month this, then Jan to December, 1st to 5 and 2025, everything we will select as it is, but 6 p.m. would be 18 hours. So flexible time window we will do off, we will leave as it is, click on next. Now again we will click on AWS Lambda. Now again the Lambda function needs to be invoked from the EventBridge, and the Lambda function would be the stop EC2 function, and both our Lambda functions are working correctly as we have already tested that. We will click on next, and what action we need to do after the schedule completion? We don't need to do anything, none. And then again it will create a new role for this EventBridge rule, and click on next. After reviewing everything we will click on create schedule. So now our schedule has got created. So if tomorrow is Friday and at 9 a.m. our EC2 instance will get triggered, and it will run throughout the day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then at 6 p.m. again this EventBridge rule will get triggered. The Lambda function and Lambda function will help to stop the EC2 instance. So it will be very helpful when the EC2 instance needs to be run for a certain amount of period every day, like for weekdays, which we have created. So that's how we have completed our mini project, and now I would request you to stop everything, to delete the Lambda functions, to delete the EventBridge rule. If it is kept on running, you will incur the charges, and the bill will come. So it's better, it's a best practice to stop once your project is completed. So I will go and now delete all the resources which I have created for our project. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and follow for another different new projects. Thank you so much.